Hi, everybody. It's Scott Wallin with Dairy Management Incorporated, and welcome to another edition of the Your Dairy Checkoff podcast, where we speak with checkoff leaders and farmers about strategies that are driving sales and building trust of U.S. dairy and the farm families who make it all happen. Today, I'm joined by my colleague, Chris Urban, who serves as Vice President of Growth Platforms and Partnerships for Dairy Management Inc. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm great, Scott. Thank you for having me on the podcast. Really excited to talk about the work that me and my team do on behalf of dairy farmers to drive value for dairy products with consumers.
Absolutely. I know we're going to get into some of those details about a new product that is on the shelves right now that is super exciting and very tasty as well. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But before we go there, let's hear a little bit about what do you and your team do on behalf of the Checkoff?
I work with General Mills. I'm the partner lead for General Mills. And really what we do out through that context is we look for ways to partner with companies like General Mills that have a lot of consumer products to come up with new innovations and new ideas to bring to market to get consumers excited about dairy products and how they can fit better in their lives. And so that's sort of the consumer product side of the business. And then we also work in the food service side of the business. So you think about McDonald's and Domino's, companies that are out there as quick serve restaurants that are, have a lot of great menu options. How do we continue to drive demand and innovation for their menus focused around dairy? We are really focused on innovation and new products that help drive demand and excitement for dairy with consumers.
You know, General Mills is one of those household names. Everybody has heard of General Mills. What's it like working with a company of that stature with that rich history? What are the synergies like with them?
General Mills obviously brings a lot of expertise so yogurt is the category that we partner on with them. And so they have a lot of operational expertise in manufacturing. They bring a lot of expertise in consumer insights. What does the consumer want? And branding and marketing and advertising. And where it really comes together is we bring and build unique insights, both from where consumers are going in the space with yogurt. In particular, health and wellness has been a real area of focus for us with General Mills and the work that we've been doing with the IC Health and Wellness Committee and the Comms Committee on building the playbooks for health and wellness. But also we work with our scientists, Emil Nashid and team, on thinking about ways that we can incorporate new technologies into some of the products that bring new benefits to consumers to help drive demand as well.
We've got a product on the shelves that has resulted from this partnership with General Mills. It's called YoBark. Can you kind of take us from A to Z concept to where we are today with YoBark?
This is a perfect example of the collaboration that we do on behalf of farmers that really drives new ideas, new demand, new spaces for dairy in the marketplace in the grocery store. And really the idea came, so General Mills came to us and they said, hey, we're seeing on our business, they have Go-Gurt business, which is sort of more towards teens, and then the traditional Yoplait ratio businesses, which tend to have an older audience. And what they saw was that as kids sort of aged into the 12, 13-year-old, there's a drop of consumption in yogurt. Teens walk away from it for different reasons. And so the challenge back to us was, hey, can you help us figure out why they're leaving and in a way that we could keep them in the category? And so we started the work partnering with them on understanding and uncovering the insights behind why teens and tweens leave the category, built that deep knowledge base, and then we worked with them to take the reasons why, what the disappointments were, to come up with a bunch of concepts. We had probably 20 concepts that we worked on and co-led and co-developed with them. And then we put those into consumer testing. And ultimately, YoBark was the top scoring concept that came out of the work that we did. And so we also helped them find a manufacturing capability, right? This is a solid product. And so we help identify the manufacturing, do those pieces to help bring this thing to market. And it launched in October of this year.
And it's nationwide. And it's in the refrigerated section too, I'm on air. But can you talk a little bit about where we can find this product?
It's in the refrigerated case. It is where you would find products like Go-Gurt, and it is right now. So we started, retailers are on reset windows throughout the year. We launched the product in October, started shipping it in Safeway, Albertsons, Jewel in Chicago. Walmart is another retailer where it picked up. And then as retailers start to have resets at the beginning of this year in 2025, you're going to start to see it showing up in more retailers nationwide.
I love the idea that this is something that's going to compete with some of those snacks out there and it's mom and kid friendly. Can you just talk a little bit more about that and how exciting that is to have something on the shelves that has dairy?
Yes. So the insight, going back to that of what was the idea behind the product is teens tend to leave the product because they're looking for things that are sort of more on the go and shareable, right? And so when you get into things that are more on the go and shareable, you start to get into salty snacks and, chips and cookies and pretzels and things like that. And mom doesn't necessarily feel great about that. She would love them to keep eating yogurt. And so it is this tension in this age range of kids wanting something that's probably a little bit more indulgent, more on the go, more poppable, shareable with their friends. And so that's where YoBark fits in perfectly. This is the bark is shareable. It's in a stand-up pouch. It's poppable. They can eat it when they come home from school as they're gaming with their friends. They can share it. And it's the goodness of yogurt, so moms feel great about it. So it's a perfect a complement or solution for both of those cohorts that we're really excited about. And to your point, it's really exciting because it takes dairy into a new space. So as you think about what we're trying to do as DMI and what we're trying to do with our partners is to bring and to go into new spaces with dairy and to be able to go into something that goes into salty snacks and take dairy into that occasion is really exciting in a really great incremental way to bring dairy to consumers' lives.
Chris, I had the opportunity to speak with you and your counterpart at General Mills earlier. And, you can just certainly sense the teamwork, that we have with them. Can you talk a little bit more about how they perceive the dairy checkoff and what we were able to bring to the table that maybe they're not able to do on their own?
They view us as partners. I think that's really, they view it as strategic partners that bring them insights and knowledge and technology in dairy that is unique that helps further their business. And so some examples of obviously YoBark is a great example of that. But as we think about partnering with them into 2026 and beyond, they have a pipeline of new products across their brands that they're building. And the partnership is really where are we bringing unique insights for them in these spaces from all the things that you're hearing, weight management, GLP-1, how is GLP-1, a lot of the great consumer insights that we have as DMI to understand that space, bringing that to them to help them influence the new products, how they think about claims and bundles and packaging that they're putting together, to the work that we're doing through the IC Committee on Health and Wellness, talking about messaging and building what really resonates with consumers in these health and wellness spaces, and how best can we build the bundle with that, to thinking about new technologies and platforms that Emil is working on that can work brilliantly in the yogurt portfolio that brings new benefits to the consumer. So it's really a very strong partnership where we talk through what their innovation pipeline, their platform is, and what insights and information we can bring to make it stronger to ultimately make consumers choose those products over other choices in the marketplace.
So, Chris, I'm curious. You mentioned 2026 in that response. I think that speaks to how far down the road you guys are already planning. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It's so as you think about a retail reset and working with General Mills, a lot of the plans for 25 are set, right? So YoBark is going to be a key focus for 2025. It takes a lot to do on General Mills' behalf to do set when you have a new product. You have to sell it in. You have to have hit sort of reset windows of when retailers reset their categories and reset their shelves. So any sort of innovation window we're looking usually a year or two out, so 2026, 2027, because what's in 2025 is sort of the cake is baked, and YoBark is there. We've done the sell-in 2024. The resets happen in 2025, and so as we think about new innovation that comes to the marketplace, we're now pivoting to 2026, 2027, and beyond.
Well, we certainly want to take time to celebrate YoBark, but I know you and your team are always looking ahead down the road to see what's next. What can you talk about, as far as what's on the horizon for us that you guys are discussing?
We're really excited about YoBark as a new brand, a new platform, a new form, and to that occasion. And so we will continue to work with General Mills on thinking about what's beyond the two SKUs that we've launched in YoBark. What are other iterations that we can go to continue to expand that business as it's successful in the marketplace. And then the other places that we will be spending more time with them is really focused on their Ratio brand. So this is a brand that really looks at the right bundle of nutrients to meet needs for different consumers. So right now there's a SKU that's focused on keto. It's the right balance if you're on the keto diet. As you know, yogurt is a fantastic source of high quality protein with a rich nutrient bundle. And so there are a lot of areas that we can go with Ratio and that business to continue to help them grow there. And then the other business that we're working on, we'll focus on with them is Oui. And if you're not familiar with Oui, it's a French style yogurt in a glass pot and more premium. And so there are a lot of spaces as we think about premiumization in the marketplace. There are a lot of areas that we will continue to explore with them in that innovation pipeline space and continuing to work with Emil and the science team on new and breakthrough science and technologies that really can help us elevate and better meet consumer needs and demands in those spaces.
I love that you touched on the science aspect of that in Emil's team, our colleague Emil. How critical is the science to all of this that you do?
Very critical because the science, it's a link, right? So as you think about where consumer demand, particularly in these spaces of health and wellness, there is a linkage back to what can be done around claims and messaging and specific science and to help harness the power of dairy in new ways to bring new solutions to meet those needs and particularly in health and wellness. And so it's a critical link for us as we partner with General Mills to continue to make sure that dairy is front and center and we're really continuing to win and what's our birthright, which is health and wellness and protein and the nutrient bundle that we have.
Absolutely. National Dairy Council, around for more than a century, has that clout and that powerful reputation that I have to think, a company like General Mills looks at and says, okay, if this is coming through National Dairy Council with this rich history of science and research, we're good with that. Is that kind of what you see, from General Mills?
What helps is the fact that we are linked and work with the USDA, as a lot of the work that we do is validated the research, the evidence-based statements, and we validate those pieces with USDA. And in a lot of ways, we are helping to do a lot of the legwork for General Mills and providing the science summaries, the approved pieces through the USDA that they can then take and use either in their products or in their messaging. So it's a critical piece, and they look for us to give the guidance and the expertise to help keep those pieces moving for them.
Well, Chris, I really enjoyed this conversation, and YoBark's amazing. Congratulations on all the success to you and your team. I know we sampled it at our joint annual meeting last fall, and so many dairy farmers had an opportunity to taste it. And I know you got some great feedback from them. So continued success with all that you do. Dairy farmers, if you want to learn more about your dairy checkoff, please visit dairycheckoff.com, where we also have more episodes of the Your Dairy Checkoff podcast. Thanks again for your time, Chris.
Thank you, Scott.